Hello once again, my flat earth friends, or haters or detractors, whatever the hell you want to call yourselves. I just call you wrong. Anyway, I'm just playing. Well, I'm not really playing. I actually do call you wrong. But I have something to say. I really do. And we're going to cast aside the insults. So I'm not really going to insult anybody this time. There's only one thing I want from you, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Because I've been arguing this subject for maybe a year. That's when I was first made privy to the idea that there were actually legitimately people who think the earth is flat. What I've determined in this year is that there are no flat earthers. There's only people that don't understand science, or that are trying to understand science, but only in the extent that it helps their case. And they're trying to understand it only to the point where they can read documentation and cherry pick the info. And I say this not to slam you guys. This is what's actually happening, because when you actually break down the info and you, like, here's the example of what I'm talking about. I like examples. Examples drive the point home. There is a video that you guys used to love to attack. Of course, the globe earthers have debunked that into the grave, but it came out as a NASA engineer, I think somebody who was probably in the graphics area or something like that, computer engineer, something. He says that, this image is Photoshop, but it has to be. And then that rocked the flat earth. They started busting that out as a way to say that NASA lies and everything is CGI. And then after watching all of the video, and this is important because context matters so much to things, because you could take probably anything I say in context of this, or out of context in this video, and make it sound like I'm saying that the earth is flat. Like, you could take that sentence alone and just cut it all by itself, and people would say, look, even this glober says the earth is flat. You could do that, and I'm not even going to try to edit this, because if you do, it's going to be funny, because I'm sitting here saying that you're taking that out of context literally before you do. Nobody probably will, but I'm just saying, go for it, right? Here's the thing. You guys aren't really doing what is needed to be done in any argument or debate type situation. You are kind of coming around, but it has historically been this case. If you're making any claim, whether or not that claim is in your mind already a thing, if you're making a claim, then you either have to come up with and prove it, come up with the data and the experimentation to prove it, or just go grab the proof. That's what globers do, right? Us normal people that live on a globe, well, I shouldn't say that, because you guys live on a globe and you still do the other thing, but we live on a globe, and one of the things that we do in the globe earth community is we recite, or you might say parrot, but we recite the data that has been provided to us over centuries of experimentation and observation, all of the stuff that matches reality. We're just basically, parroting the answers to you. And the reason that they sound parroted is because there is only one answer. Like, what is 50 degrees outside cold? That is subjective. But is the sun bright? That is not. Well, I guess if you're asking a blind man. But the sun is bright. That's just all there is to it. So in this case, these answers that are provided from physics, they're not up to scrutiny. They're not subjective. They're not idiosyncratic answers to serve a need for that purpose. They're not ad hoc answers, y'all. They are the only answers that exist, because physics doesn't have off days. It doesn't get depression. It doesn't decide one day to go ahead and not act the same way it did yesterday. It really just continues. It's very consistent. And if we're talking about moods, we could learn a lot from physics in general, because physics never changes. Physics is always even keeled. It doesn't care about your feelings. It's going to do what it does regardless of whether or not you like it. Water finding its own level. It doesn't. It does because it's forced to. That's literally why it does it. Water does what it's forced into. That's it. There's no other property of water that you have to get into. That's how we can see water beating up around things that are hydrophobic. If you don't know what hydrophobic is, it means that things that don't like water, can't absorb water, they don't mix with water. Oil, for example. There are chemicals out there you can spray on clothing that for at least a while will resist water. And what does water do? If the surface is level and water can't go anywhere because it's normalized, it'll beat up and look like a tiny sphere that's flat on the bottom. Flat-ish on the bottom. You can even see the water curve back around under it so that it looks like maybe a gumdrop. So does water always find its level? No. But when it's forced to, yeah. And that's the thing. You got this really cut and edited, cut and paste version of science or physics and science understanding that you continue to present as facts, and you like these gotcha questions. Lately, and this is where it all comes down to, you never answer questions. You don't provide any kind of data. You skirt that by saying burden of proof is not on us. And I'm going to say, yes, it is. And it's not just because it's just on you. It's also on me. It's also on anybody else that's saying to you, this is what's up. Doesn't matter what it is. They're having a sale down at so-and-so, 5 and dime, 50 cents for a gallon of milk. That's a statement. Is it true? I don't know. If I want to prove it to you and you want proof, you're either going to have to go there or I'm going to have to take you there, but someone's going to need to see the evidence, right? There's going to have to be an action that follows that statement in order for true belief to occur or true understanding. So the burden of proof isn't just on flat earth. It is on anybody who is saying this is what's happening. And you flat earthers haven't really ever come around to this. You know, Subarats and Puckett Word, they try kinda to use trickery or to use camera tricks to show some of the demonstrations that have already been done, but not a single one of you have ever gone out and done a demonstration that matches reality, that it came from one of your claims. So here's what I want to see. This is the hot button issue right now in the flat earth community. Gas pressure. The argument seems to be that there can be no pressure without a container because the container is creating a place for the gas to stay. It won't let the gas escape. There's also this claim suddenly that without a container there can't be a gradient. So I am looking at reality and thinking the pressure on Earth for gas pressure is at 14.7 roughly at sea level. And the further away you go, and you know this, it gets thinner and the pressure is lower. So the air is thinner. There's not as much air up there. So you're saying that a gas pressure needs a container and a gas gradient within that container is only possible due to the container. Well, at least that guy is saying that. Maybe nobody else is, but people think there's a gradient in there. Well, I tell you what. Let's see you do a demonstration, a visual demonstration, showing how the gas inside of a container interacts with the wall of the container to create the pressure and to maintain it. And then using that same diagram, illustrate how the gradient is possible as the gas interacts with that container. So I want to see two things. How the gas interacts with the container to create and maintain the pressure, and how the gas interacts with the container in order to get that gradient. And if you're going to mirror the reality and apply that to the argument, I'm going to want to see that gradient exist in the center of the container and gradually decrease as it reaches the wall. But I don't even need to see that. All I want from you is a demonstration of how the gas will interact with that container to create those two situations that when you and I look around us, knowing what we know, can say that matches our reality. Can you do that? Anthony Riley, can you? Subarats, if you're still out there. What about you, that guy? Can you, any one of you, do this demonstration? Don't blow up a balloon and let it out. Blow up a balloon and do whatever you want. But I want to see how you're going to draw out the physical interaction of the gas molecules and the container to create those two conditions that also matches reality. And then at some point this week, I will do a demonstration for you, showing you exactly how it really works in our reality and why you don't need a container. Fair enough?